They didn't call. They didn't even wait a day. My own mother sent a single line, "Stay home, Lila. We need this day to be perfect." 10 seconds later, my sister Chloe hit the heart react, like my exile was the final cherry on her wedding cake. I'm reading this to you from a quiet apartment in Seattle, rain tapping the window like it's trying to get in on the secret. Where are you right now? Drop it below, so I know I'm not the only one still reeling. My name is Lila Morrow, and in my family, I was never the princess. I was the credit card with legs. Mom, Catherine, glided through life like a woman who'd never heard the word no. Dad, Victor, perfected the art of looking the other direction. And Chloe? Chloe was the miracle child, the one whose tantrums were passion and whose whims were destiny. I was the one who color-coded the chaos so everyone else could dance in it. When Chloe got engaged, I didn't just help with the wedding, I built it from the ground up. Deposits, contracts, late-night calls with florists in different time zones, all on my dime, all under my name. I told myself it was love. Really, it was habit. Only my grandmother Elise ever saw through the performance. She'd pour tea in her little sunroom, snip dead leaves off her orchids, and say, "Darling, loyalty that only flows one way is just slow bleeding." I smiled, nodded, and kept bleeding. Then came the text that finally cauterized the wound. "Stay home." Chloe's little heart emoji glowed like a neon sign. You were never actually invited. That night I sat in the dark with every invoice open on my screen. $43,000 stared back at me. 43,000 reasons I'd been tolerated. I didn't cry. I got very, very calm. The next morning, Catherine casually mentioned turning the wedding into a full destination experience for Chloe's new in-laws. Her eyes slid to the antique cookie tin on the shelf, Elise's emergency fund, the one no one was ever supposed to touch. "It's just sitting there," Catherine said, as if sacred things expire. I looked at Chloe. She was painting her nails bridal white, not even pretending to feel bad. "It would make the week legendary," she murmured. That was the moment the final thread snapped. 2 days later, I walked into Catherine's house to return the master planning binder. Chloe was sprawled on the couch, phone in hand, laughing at something. When she saw me, she didn't bother hiding the screen. There it was again, my mother's message, freshly loved by the bride-to-be. She shrugged. "It's easier if you're not there, Lee. You stress everyone out." Easier. The word landed like a slap and felt like freedom. That night I emailed every vendor. Event canceled due to family emergency. Cease all billing. Then I changed the passwords on every shared account, locked Elise's savings behind ironclad protections, and waited. They came back from the airport tanned, triumphant, and totally unprepared. I was waiting in arrivals with Elise on my arm and our attorney, Jonah, holding a slim leather folder. Catherine spotted us and stopped dead, Chanel sunglasses sliding down her nose. "What is this?" she hissed. Jonah stepped forward. "Catherine Morrow, Chloe Morrow, you're being served with notice of financial exploitation and attempted unauthorized access to a protected account." He handed over the envelopes like they were ticking. Chloe actually laughed, high and brittle, until she opened hers and saw the itemized list of every dollar I'd paid, cross-referenced with the messages telling me I wasn't welcome. The laugh died in her throat. Catherine tried the old script. "This is absurd." Lila offered. "She always offers." "That's the point," I said. My voice didn't shake. "I stopped offering." Dad finally spoke, barely audible. "We didn't think you'd mind." "I know," I answered. "That's why I'm making sure you never get the chance again." People were staring now. Phones were out. Catherine's worst nightmare, a public scene, delivered by the daughter she'd trained to prevent them. Chloe's mascara started its tracks. "You're ruining my wedding." "No," I said. "You're just going to have the one you can actually afford." We turned to leave. Catherine called after me, voice cracking for the first time I could remember. "Lila, we're your family." I looked back. Family doesn't invoice love. Elise squeezed my hand, eyes shining with something fiercer than tears. Pride. The wedding never happened. Vendors kept my deposits, but canceled the rest. Chloe postponed until things calmed down. They never did. I moved Elise into the spare bedroom of my apartment. We drink tea in the way she taught me, slow and deliberate, while orchids bloom on every windowsill. Some afternoons I volunteer at a senior advocacy center, making sure no one else mistakes being needed for being loved. I used to think cutting them off would feel like losing a limb. Turns out it felt like finally growing a spine. If this hit you in the chest the way it still hits me, tell me where you're watching from. And if you've ever had to walk away to save yourself, type "I chose me too" in the comments. You're not alone. And you never had to be their miracle to deserve your own.